Hey, what's up, guys? This is TBone here. Welcome to the third episode where I talk about the Ultimate Forms rankings for each of the seasons for the game Legendary Game of Heroes. Now, we're coming up at the end of Electric Storm season, and so I'll be talking about the 5 Ultimate Forms we've seen so far and my ranking from number 5 to number 1. I will also give recommendations for which card I think you could use your seasonal coins on if you cannot get an Ultimate Form. And so, just a quick reminder for those of you who may not know, to get to the previous Ultimate Forms, all you have to do is click on the Season tab, and then in there, go into the Ultimates section. Then you'll be brought to this page where you can have access to the previous Ultimate Forms. You can click on them, and then you can then use your seasonal coins to forge your Ultimate Form or to forge your card. So, let's talk about the cards, and I just want to say this is the first season where every single Ultimate Form has the ability to increase damage in one form or another, and we've also seen for the first time different types of attack boost. And so it is definitely going to be a little bit stronger than the previous ones, and I definitely have my favorites in this pick as well. So let's get started. We're going to kick it off with number 5. Coming in number 5 here is Apex Predators. This is a Water Immortal Killer deck, and to me, this deck comes in at number 5 because I believe it's the weakest of them all. If you take a look at the battle skill, on its own, it creates Power Gem once, and it only creates them for every 3 Power Gems that's on the board already, so it is definitely very limiting, and it's a lot weaker just because it's only creating Power Gem once. It does have an attack boost, and it increases it by 6% for every Power Gem that's on the board. But again, it is a lot weaker because you need to have Power Gems that's on the board already in order to benefit from the attack boost. And so to me, there are other Ultimate Forms that are much stronger, and so I place this in number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Flourishing Fairies. Now, I have to be honest here. The main reason that I placed Flourishing Fairies in number 4 really is because it is an Earth Arcane killer card. We've already seen a Earth Commander Arcane killer skill in Jailers. And since we have the Earth Arcane for Commander and also Earth Arcane for Slayer, that means we're not going to be seeing another Earth Arcane skill for a very long time, close to a year from now. And just that reason alone makes this Ultimate Form a less desirable investment. And so that's why I wouldn't recommend using your seasonal coins on it, even though the skills aren't too bad. So as far as skills go, it will upgrade 6 existing Power Gems to 1 level higher, and it creates 4 Power Gem 3s on its own. It also increases attack by 30% for every Power Gem spawning skill you use. And in a Slayer deck, it's not too bad, but I personally honestly was able to get through that event without using that deck at all because Jailers is so much better. And I would never be able to, I don't expect this deck to ever be able to perform well in a Commander event. And so it is, that and also the fact that we're not going to see this killer skill for a long time makes it number 4 from me. Now, number 3 is the Dark Arcane Killer Commander deck, Hair's Extraordinaire. Now, this card is the first time that we've seen that gives you a damage boost for all Arcane Killer cards, okay? And it also is a relatively good gem spawner in that it spawns Power Gems in 3 waves. It'll create 6 Power Gem 4s every turn. As long as you have 200 intensity, it'll create on the second turn. If you have 400 intensity, it'll also create on the third turn. But the thing that's limiting here is that it only activates if you match Dark Commander Gems. So you need to have this card in here, and you need to match Dark Commander Gems. So it means that it's not usable in Slayer events. Okay, so it's only usable in Commander events, and you have to you have to be able to match Dark Commander Gems as well. So it's a little bit more limiting than the other versions that we've seen, but it does increase damage by 60% every time you match. And this is a damage increase as opposed to attack increase, which is way more significant. Okay, and so the damage output that you're going to be able to get from this is a lot higher. And you can also stack it with the ultra rare card, which you will get simply by having the Ultimate Form. However, because it's limiting, I feel that there's another variation that's better, and so this sits in number 3 for me. Number 2 and number 1 for me, they're kind of I would say, a little bit close in my opinion. Actually, number 3, number 2, and number 1 are all close, but ultimately number 2 for me is Ring Royalty. This is the first Fire Beast killer that we've seen since the New Dawn season, and so we expect another Fire Commander Beast killer to take place as well. And this deck is fun to use because it creates, so the ultimate form will create power gems, and also it'll destroy 3 gems and then create 3 power gem 3. So it's not the best gem spawner right off the bat. It's also kind of slow because it only creates additional power gems if you have 200 beast killer intensity. But the thing is, this has a haste ability, which gives you the ability to use your battle skills as soon as you start the battle. And in fact, the entire deck has ability. And so with the ultimate form, ultra rare card, and also the master collection card, and also the event card, you'll be able to fill up the board pretty easily. And this is a deck, however, that only benefits from having more master collection cards. Okay, and so I think that, to me, there's still a little bit of limitations here, and also the way that it gives you attack boost is based on health. And so the way this deck works is the higher the health you have, the more attack boost you have, and the maximum you get is 100%. But again, it stacks, and so you get that stack from master collection cards. But because it's a health-based attack boost, and it does this every single turn, again, you don't have to activate anything, you actually get the most of your damage on turn 1, and also when you revive. So this card gives you also revive, and so all in all, it's got a pretty good package, right? It's just that I think from the skill perspective, from the amount of damage you can deal, I think it's still a little bit limited. Okay, and so I think that it sits nicely at number 2. And coming in at number 1 for me, I think the best ultimate form to forge this season, if you're looking for one, would be the light noble killer deck, Haunted Hunters. So we have not yet seen light noble killer either, and it's going to be in the form of Slayers. And so it's a little bit easier for a commander card to be used in a Slayer event, and so there's definitely already a bonus there. This card creates also 6 power gen 4s, so it's a better power gen spawner, and it creates additional one with less intensity requirement at 100. And then it also creates the same number of power gems, although it creates only power gem 1s for the next 2 turns. Has a 3-turn cooldown, and so you're guaranteed to always have gen spawns every single turn. And what it does is it also gives you damage boost, not attack boost, but damage boost, but in increments of 20% for every attack you do. So every time you attack, you increase your alchemize. If you remember if you want to know more details, you can take a look at my video that I talk about that in more detail. But basically, the maximum damage boost you can get from this card is 120% after 6 attacks, and this will stack. So you can actually, for every ultimate form card that you have, the ultra rare card that you have on there, you can also increase your damage boost by another 120%, which is much higher than Hair's Extraordinaire card. And so this is the most powerful form of the cards that we've seen to date, and it's also immune to blind. Keep in mind that the last event was also the first time where we've had to try and get 500% overkill on bosses that had 30 trillion health as opposed to 10 trillion. And so it definitely is a lot stronger. It's just that it was probably harder to see in that particular event. But when we use it in a Slayer event, I think you're going to be able to see a huge improvement to your light Slayer damage. And so for me, this is definitely the best ultimate form I think you should get. And then in terms of what cards I think you should go for if you can't actually get them. So I think that there are two options that I could think of. And so the first one is going to be El Toro World Champ. So this is the Master Collection card, just because this is a card that on its own will also give you an attack boost equal to your health at the beginning of every single turn. All right, so this is very simple. All you have to do is equip this card, and every single turn you will get, you will get a boost for all beast killers. This is not even an ultimate form card, and you still get the boost. And so I think that this is a good card to invest in if you don't have anything else. Then the other one is obviously going to be the light card. Now, between the Master Collection card and the Ultra Rare card, both of these are going to be good. The Master Collection card will give you Power Gem spawns. So you'll be able to get 3 turns of Power Gem spawns. But if you want to use this in a Slayer event, then I actually think that it might be better for you to get the ultra rare version, because the transformative practitioner is the one that is going to consume the stacks of alchemized and give your noble killer skill heroes 20% damage for every single stack that is consumed. It's not a the downside to this card is that it doesn't actually spawn any power gems on its own. So you're going to be limiting your overall power gem spawnability if you use this card, but it does give you the damage boost. And so those are the 3 cards that I think you should go for. And I think ultimately it will come down to your preference and also what you like to do. And so that is my recommendation for the Ultimate Forms for this season, and also for the cards that you should go for. And so that's all for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you would have ranked your Ultimate Forms, and comment down below and let me know. All right? Thank you very much. Take care, and I'll see you next time.